What if the strongest sorcerer in history made the one decision that changed everything? What if, instead of Yuji Itadori, Satoru Gojo consumed Sukuna's finger? A choice that should have been impossible. A choice that would force the strongest sorcerer and the king of curses into a single body. And the moment Gojo swallowed that finger, everything changed.
It all began during what should have been a routine investigation. Megumi Fushiguro had been tracking a dangerous cursed object, unaware that this single mission would change the future of the Jujutsu world forever. Hidden within the darkness was one of the 20 preserved fingers of Ryomen Sukuna, the legendary king of curses. Even after 1,000 years, the finger radiated an overwhelming cursed energy. Once the object was secured, it eventually reached the strongest sorcerer alive, Satoru Gojo. As Gojo examined the finger, a dangerous thought crossed his mind. Everyone knew what happened when a human consumed one of Sukuna's fingers. Most died instantly. The few who survived became vessels. But Gojo wasn't like everyone else. Confident in his own strength, he decided to do the unthinkable. Without hesitation, Satoru Gojo swallowed Sukuna's finger. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, deep within his consciousness, a sinister laugh echoed through an endless void. Ryomen Sukuna had awakened. Expecting another weak vessel, Sukuna stepped forward with absolute confidence. Instead, he found himself standing face to face with Satoru Gojo. Neither looked afraid. Neither looked impressed. Sukuna immediately attempted to seize control. His cursed energy exploded throughout their shared consciousness. But Gojo pushed back just as easily. What should have been an instant takeover became a clash between two monsters, the strongest sorcerer in history against the king of curses. Neither side was willing to submit. Neither side was willing to lose. After a brutal battle for dominance, Gojo opened his eyes. He still controlled his body. But something had changed. A trace of Sukuna's cursed energy now existed within him. The king of curses remained trapped inside, silently observing. Megumi immediately noticed that something felt different. Gojo looked normal. He sounded normal. Yet an unfamiliar presence lingered around him. For the first time, even Megumi wasn't sure what had happened. News of the event soon spread through the shadows of the Jujutsu world, and it didn't take long before it reached the ears of the disaster curses. Far away, Jogo listened carefully as the details were revealed. At first, he refused to believe it. The strongest sorcerer had become Sukuna's vessel. It sounded impossible. Mahito was equally fascinated. Unlike Jogo, he wasn't shocked. He was curious. If Sukuna truly existed within Gojo, then the balance of power had completely changed. Soon, the disaster curses gathered to discuss the situation. Jogo, Mahito, Hanami, and Dagon. Each of them understood the danger of Satoru Gojo, but now the situation had become even more complicated. If Sukuna and Gojo existed within the same body, nobody could predict what would happen next. Jogo eventually reached a conclusion. There was only one way to learn the truth. He would confront Gojo himself. Not long after, Jogo appeared before the strongest sorcerer. The atmosphere instantly became tense. Jogo released his cursed energy without hesitation. The surrounding area trembled under the pressure. But Gojo simply smiled. The battle began. Jogo launched attack after attack, unleashing devastating cursed techniques capable of destroying entire sections of the battlefield. Explosions erupted around them. Flames consumed everything in sight, yet none of it mattered. Gojo effortlessly avoided every attack. The gap between them remained overwhelming. Before Jogo could adjust his strategy, Gojo closed the distance instantly. One strike, that was all it took. The disaster curse was sent flying. For the first time, Jogo realized something terrifying. The cursed energy surrounding Gojo wasn't entirely his own. Mixed within it was another presence, a darker presence, a far more ancient presence, Sukuna. At that moment, Jogo finally understood the truth. The king of curses truly existed within Gojo's body. Inside their shared consciousness, Sukuna watched everything unfold with amusement. He wasn't helping Gojo. He wasn't helping Jogo. He was simply watching, waiting, learning. Because eventually, an opportunity would appear. As the battle ended, Jogo retreated with more questions than answers. He immediately reported everything back to Mahito and the others. The truth shocked them all. For the first time in history, the strongest sorcerer and the king of curses existed within a single body. The balance of the entire world had shifted, and somewhere in the darkness, a new plan began to form. Because if Gojo and Sukuna were forced to share the same body, then sooner or later something would break. And when that moment arrived, the consequences would shake the Jujutsu world forever. Please like the video and subscribe the channel to stay updated.